r/AskReddit. Who got too famous way too quickly? Harambe. Man. Fame hit him like a bullet. 6 months to the day. I still can't believe it. Meghan Trainor. She's the worst. She gets popular because of a song where she says to little girls it's okay to not be stick thin. Embrace Your Body AMD was seen as a great women's empowerment song. Fine. Nothing wrong with that. Then her next song is how she deserves a guy with washboard abs and a baseball bat for a peen. Her first song was more like, if you're skinnier than me then you are a plastic Barbie doll itch, but hey let us curvy girls embrace our bodies yay. Honey Boo Boo. Fortunately, child beauty pageants have never been the same since. Nah, it's worse now. TLC is also back doing the Toddlers and Tiaras show too. The I didn't do it boy. Woozle Wuzzle? Is that what passes for comedy these days? Balloon Boy. He didn't sign up for that hit. And it's going to follow him around for the next 20 or 30 years. His parents are ducking nut jobs. I'm surprised they haven't made another attempt to get people to pay attention to them again. Did you not see their latest attempt? Going for title of youngest metal band or something like that. This was a little while ago I think. I'm sure it's still on YouTube somewhere. Seemed like another one of the dad's plans. Freddie Adu. He was supposed to be the American Pell. I can't wait for the 3430 on this. Also, please don't let this happen to Pulisic. It'll be amazing. A kid from a country that is notorious for faking ages in sports for purposes of sandbagging. He comes up as a man playing against children and looks amazing because he's a child. Gets in the pros and has to go against people better than him and he fizzles. Now plays in a C League in Slovenia or someplace and looks like a 40-year-old when he's supposed to be in his late 20s. I think he just is ancient now either way. Alex from Target. The most cringe of that was him getting on television for it. When I was a teenage girl and I thought a boy was cute, I would probably try and find him on Zanga and call it a day. Upvote because Zanga. Any of those ducking idiots from Vine. They capitalize on the lowest forms of comedy and are terrible at acting. And now these bosses are all landing roles in movies, so we'll never be rid of them. Gun to my head I couldn't name you one Vine star. And now these bosses are all landing roles in movies, so we'll never be rid of them. First I've heard of it. Shawn Mendes immediately comes to mind. You've probably heard him on the radio. He's actually done really well, and I've gotta say, his music ain't bad. The Connie guy. He had a mental breakdown, and from what I've read, he was actually a decent guy before Connie 2012. Maybe a little misguided, but not any more than anyone else that is a little too gung-ho for a cause. Edit. I'm going to respond here because I have over 63 messages in my inbox and I can't Google the answer for everyone. I mean the guy in America who led the Invisible Children. I just heard a little about him, but from everything I've read it seems like he had a mental breakdown. I'm not advocating for the use of child soldiers. Part of reading is context which it seems like Reddit has never had. Connie himself is still alive. But as I said in another comment, in 2013, Connie was reported to be in poor health and Michel Djatodia, president of the Central African Republic, claimed he was negotiating with Connie to surrender. Absolutely hated all of that Connie business. People basically sharing a video advocating for US military interference in Africa. One of the earlier examples of the hitch how social media has turned into these days. The best part about that was actual Africans posting videos on YouTube like, WTF guys? We are fine. We don't need your help. Grayson Chance did one cover of Paparazzi by Lady Gaga at a school talent show that went viral and then got famous with the label and everything. Had several hit songs then. When he was going through puberty his label dropped him because he wasn't what they wanted anymore. He still makes music on YouTube. Oh my goodness. The last I heard of him was on Ellen. I just looked up his channel and wow, that boy can sing. Amazing voice and range. Definitely needs a respectable label to help spread his talent to the world. Well actually no. No you don't. Not anymore. Big labels are becoming / already are redundant and unnecessary. I could go on forever about the history of the industry. All the ins and outs. But today you just need the talent and the drive to do it yourself. You will probably make more money of a big YouTube channel than being signed by a major label. Social media and the internet is king. Recorded music has almost no value at all these days. You make money from live shows and other things you can come up with. You also don't sign away your life and creativity to a bunch of non-musical hipsters running a big company. There are tons of good service helping you put your music on the relevant platforms. I've recently launched indie labels, net medias and much more. You just need to have a bit of drive and you are better off and your own master. Trust me. I've read enough major label contracts to firmly say, duck them all. If people are interested in the new playing field of creative arts, I can spare some time and do a more thorough rammer, I suppose. The more knowledge people have, the more power we have to reclaim music and our own creativity. All the challenges popping out of nowhere. How much cyanide can you chug without dying? Compilation, 2016. Funny. Gone wrong. Gone XL. Cops caught. You won't believe what happens in the end. Damn the third duck, I'm Daniel. My ducking son still says this. Makes me want to smack them upside the head. And these nuts. Apparently both still hilarious to 12-year-old. These nuts has been around since the dawn of time. That's nothing new. That laughing Chewbacca mask lady. She literally became famous by going live. It was over about 48 hours later. How long is a lady gonna be famous for crying over a Chewbacca mask? 2 days seems like plenty. Her laugh was infectious. The video itself was lackluster, but I enjoyed it because it was just one of those videos that I couldn't be upset watching. Her laugh was so genuine and catching that it just made me smile. Probably because she reminded me a lot of my mom, who I miss a lot. No Man's Sky fell off just as quick too. Heard they have an update coming up, but it might be too late. They lost a huge chunk of their fan base already. Mine just downloaded tonight. I'm probably gonna see what it's about sometime soon. I enjoyed that game for what it was when it came out. Mia Khalifa. She's got that whole taboo thing going for her. She represents opposition to the strict heavy hands of the Middle East. Every nut to her is a nut to fight ISIS. I've been fighting ISIS for a long time, it seems. Don't feed the clickbait article writers. Pretty much every non-personal AskReddit question, and some of the personal ones, might as well be crowdsourcing a clickbait article. Those mannequin videos. It's the Harlem Shake all over again. Shudders. Edit. Spelling snafu. The worst part, there are still thousands of Harlem Shake videos being uploaded every day. Jacob Sartorius, or however you spell that little hit's name. Edit. RIP inbox. Jacob Sartorius. I thought this was the Olympic guy with no legs who shot somebody. Guess I've been spared. I initially read it as Jaco Pastorius and was ready to reply with a furious, eloquent paragraph in his defense before I realized it's some kid on Vine. Barbs from Stranger Things. Too soon. Pen Pineapple whatever guy. He's a well-known comedian in Japan. There's always some strange hit on TV here, it just usually doesn't catch on internationally. Actually, before his Pen Pineapple thing, he was very unsuccessful comedian. When his video blew up, the news channels were all like, who is this guy? Source, I'm Japanese. Got I. Poor guy. We burned one of his songs to the ground, then just forgot about him. Now he's just somebody that we used to know. Right out of college I had an internship at this small firm, and the director would have the pop station playing all day. It was quiet, so I wasn't bothered, but could still hear it across the room. I heard that song like 3 or 4 times a day while just at the office. 3 or 4. What kind of heaven did you live in? I remember hearing it at least twice an hour. And then the commercials that followed for upcoming events. And every time a Got I show was coming, the only song being played was at one and none of the other songs that were being named. While sports are great, the one thing that can be a bit annoying is hearing about the next big thing every single year. Now I'm not doubting that some of these athletes have talent and may grow into stars like the LeBron James and Sidney Crosbys of the world, but the odds are low that all of them will. Who knows how these guys' careers will turn out? But one thing's for sure, they got too big. Too fast. Too big too fast. The Johnny Manziel story. I cannot remember the last time I saw a story about this guy on SportsCenter or the like that wasn't talking about his free fall from the spotlight because of his drug and gambling problems. Honestly though, Manziel's been kind of known to be a piece of hit from pretty much day one of him being famous in college. By the time the hype was highest and he got to the NFL draft, most people were saying it was just a matter of time before he ducked up. I don't think fame turned him into an asshole. I think he was an asshole who got famous. Richard Jewell found the bomb at the Atlanta Olympics, was almost immediately accused of planting it, had his life destroyed by all the negative publicity, and it was later discovered that Eric Rudolph has planted the bomb. Jewell was an everyman hero, but the media frenzy turned his life into a mess. No doubt, it all contributed to his early death. Sat. Definitely fits this post. This hit happened to me in high school. I found a bomb threat scrawled in the bathroom, so I reported it, and was immediately accused of writing it for attention. I was a socially awkward, introverted 15-year-old, so having cops and school administrators yelling in my face quickly reduced me to tears. Since they had no proof, they let me go. After a phone call home to my abusive stepdad that they knew I'd done it. A week later they arrested a student with a gun in his bag who admitted he'd written it. And I never received so much as an apology. That hit is infuriating. This is my daughter's opinion because I don't pay attention, but she insists that the girl who plays Eleven in Stranger Things has been wrecked. Says she is dressing like she's 25 and carrying $2,000 handbags, and she's only around 12 years old. My daughter, who is 15, says the fame has gone completely to her head and her parents are apparently not even trying to keep her normal. I noticed she keeps interrupting the other actors in interviews. She's also very young, so her fame might not have any part in that. Leafy. The weak chin guy? Yes. Thank iDubbbz for that meme. Susan Boyle. Number sus album putty. I'll take an album cover for 400. Alex. John Frusciante of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Following the successful release of Mother's Milk, Frusciante was always uncomfortable with the band's ever-increasing fame. It wasn't until Blood Sugar X Magic was released that he really lost it. Though, that album made the Chillers a household name overnight, and Frusciante surprisingly quit the band after a performance in Japan. He spent the next 4 years in his California home shooting heroin and making some of the worst music ever played. Until one day, his former bandmates had floated around with a few guitarists for some time. Dave Navarro is a guitarist on their One Hot Minute studio album until the band deteriorated significantly. Frusciante had quit heroin, crack and booze cold turkey, although seemingly not all at once. Because of his drug use, he had developed abscesses in his skin, lost all his teeth from a severe gum infection, and needed a skin grafting operation on his arm. Although a house fire contributed to the latter, it got to the point that Flea refused to play unless Frusciante returned. Surprisingly, sober Frusciante did just that. By this time, Anthony Kiedis had also quit using heroin. Soon after, they released Californication, and a new era of the Red Hot Chili Peppers began. But goddamn did fame duck up John Frusciante for some time. Edit. Some corrections. Fun fact, they didn't just want Frusciante back. After Navarro had been fired, the band had deteriorated to such a point that the only way Flea would continue on with RHCP is if John returned. However, Anthony thought he wouldn't due to the bad blood between the two during the SSM era. But John was thrilled to rejoin them. I believe he had quit drugs prior to this point though, and due to that Flea thought it was appropriate to ask him, not the invite causing him to quit drugs. These Stranger Things kids. At least 2 of them will be eaten by fame. Finn is pretty self-aware, so I think he'll be fine. He streams on Twitch every now and again. Doesn't seem like the crazed actor type. Northwest. She was famous before she was born. It would be hard for that to not happen with those parents. I hope she turns out to be a super humble human being. Respectfully decline her parents' fortunes. Gets her name changed to something relatively normal. Fights world hunger. Becomes the first independent party female president. Controls the economy. Increases taxes across the board. Becomes the wealthiest person in the world. Legalizes murder. Rules under a tyrannical dictatorship. Controls the world. Funds space exploration. Discover life on different planets. Gain their trust. Destroy them. Conquers the galaxy. All hail the Space Queen. Ashley West. Jennifer Lawrence. I personally don't see why she's so amazing. She seems to always approach her characters the same way, never really making one of them stand out. Maybe I blame the X-Men movies for overexposing the mystique of it all. Or maybe I blame my own life choices for not being nearly as successful as she is. She is a good actress. Nothing more. She definitely has potential. But all her roles have basically been the same character. The only really great film she did was Winter's Bone. That was a great performance. Maybe she chooses the wrong roles for herself. I'm ready for Winter's Bone too. With Jewell tracking down Ken Bone so she can look at his butthole.